Good
Hello,
afternoon.
I'm Donna Lowry, host of Lawmakers on Georgia Public Broadcasting. You are watching the Forum for Sandy Springs City Council District 4, organized by Rough Draft Atlanta. I'm joined by Sarah Callis, a politics reporter at Georgia Public Broadcasting, and Bob Papelis, who reports on Sandy Springs for Rough Draft. This is not a debate, but an opportunity for the candidates to introduce themselves to the District 4 voters and share where they stand on the issues. We'll get started with each candidate taking 30 seconds to introduce themselves. You will see the timer. Well, we don't have a timer, so I can see a timer. You'll get a chance. I'll let you know when you reach your 30 seconds. You will be able to go 30 seconds, and I'll give you maybe 5 seconds. How about that? Let you know that you're getting close. David Flynn, please introduce yourself.
My name is Dave Flynn. I'm a 10-year resident of Sandy Springs. I've had a business in Sandy Springs for 20 years. Started out, I got a master's in industrial engineering from Georgia Tech. From there, I spent about 20 years in the IT industry as an executive, developing software programs and installing them at Fortune 500 companies. After about 20 years of that, I decided to pursue my passion in health and fitness, and I've had a health and fitness business in Sandy Springs since 2004. Been heavily involved in the community in that time frame.
Thank you very
Volunteering
much.
for.
Thank you very much. The timer is now on the screen. I hope that you all can see it. Thank you very much,
Okay.
David Flynn. And now, please, Steve Hickey, it's your turn.
Good afternoon. My name's Steve Hickey. My wife and I moved to Sandy Springs in 2018. I'm a lifelong Atlanta resident. I'm a private businessman, so I understand the pressures that families have trying to balance and making ends meet. I'm dedicated to serving this community, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to answer any questions you guys have for me today.
Thank you. Frank Roberts, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Frank Roberts. My wife Janice and I have lived in Mount Vernon Woods since 2007. We're proud to call Sandy Springs home. I'm a Vietnam veteran, retired police sergeant with over 30 years experience serving in Atlanta and Sandy Springs. For me, public safety isn't just a talking point, it's backed by decades of experience. As the city grows, we must work to protect our neighborhoods, preserve green space, and keep city government efficient.
Thank you so much. Now, Michelle Sullivan, it is your turn.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Michelle Sullivan. I'm a native of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been living in Sandy Springs for 7 years. My desire to be city council is to serve the people. My skill as an entrepreneur for the 22 years in early childhood education, I think supports the role and responsibility of being city council. My growth mindset, my conflict resolution skills, and customer service skill, I think contributes to being a great city council member.
Thank you very much. We'll now go to our journalist panel, who each will ask 2 questions that all of you will answer. Candidates, you'll have 60 seconds to respond to each question, and the timer, as you can see, is working. We'll let you know how much time you have remaining. Sarah, you get the first question.
What are your goals for improving public safety in Sandy Springs?
Steve, you get the first response.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Commitment to more police and municipal workers on the street, focusing on service. You know, Sandy Springs is a very rich city, but it must make financial decisions. And so safety is like air. If you don't have it, nothing else after that matters. So Sandy Springs currently is a very safe city to live in, but we must continue that and dedicate the appropriate resources to support our police officers and fire officers in the city. My why is for families to live there, and families are very sensitive to issues like safety. And if they do not feel safe, they will not stay, and they will not feel that Sandy Springs is a destination city for them. So my number one commitment would be to support our police and fire officers.
Thank you very much. David, please respond to Sarah's question.
Sure, Sarah. I spent about 9 weeks with the police department attending the Sandy Springs Citizen Police Academy. It was very insightful. I was very impressed with our chief of police and with the whole staff. Very professional, very good attitude. So I am wholeheartedly behind them. I support anything reasonable that they need. They just opened a new headquarters, which is fantastic. It's got a lot of additions to what they had before. So I'm going to fully support them. That is one of my first priorities also in terms of supporting them. Safety first. If we don't have safety, then nothing else really matters.
Thank you very much. Michelle, it's your turn to respond to the question.
I think public safety is a top priority. In order to improve it, you must collaborate with the leadership, the chiefs, to determine what weaknesses and strengths they have, and then come up with the solution to address those weaknesses and strengths so that you can maintain a transparency with the residents of Sandy Springs that supports that Sandy Springs is a safe place to live.
Thank you very much. Frank, you get the final response to Sarah's questions.
Okay, put public safety first. Support strong investment in police, fire, and emergency services to keep neighborhoods safe and from both property and violent crime. Training is the backbone of all public safety functions. We must provide every opportunity for top-notch training for our first responders. We currently have top-notch leadership in our first responder units, and we must make every effort to retain them. Our new police station and new firehouses are steps in the right direction to becoming the envy of the state.
Thank you very much. Bob, it's your turn to ask a question.
What can the city do to bring businesses back to the empty storefronts and lots found along Roswell Road?
Michelle, you get the first response.
I would consider adding an economic development position that attract businesses, that promote tech innovation and the impact that AI has on the local government. I think forming those partnerships with other businesses will bring economic growth to the small businesses that are here, that will help increase the revenue to the local businesses that are here. But it all comes with having conversations, collaborations, and meeting with other businesses to give them the opportunity to know that Sandy Springs want their business here.
All right, thank you. Frank, please respond to the question.
Suburban character, suburban character. Support zoning that keeps neighborhoods exclusively single family, maintaining low density and residential integrity. Limit disruptive development, advocate against rezoning or infiltration that could alter the established character or increase traffic. Protect green space, prioritize maintaining tree canopy, open areas, and natural and winding street layouts that define these communities. Of course, development in the north side or any of these vacant lots are a combination of collaboration between residents and businesses for a smooth and even business community.
All right, thank you very much. Steve, it's your turn.
I'm a big advocate of advisory groups. I think we need to get the developers and the owners together as well as the citizens, figure out what's really needed in that area of the city or the area of Roswell Road, and get it done. I know that interest rates in the past have been a problem. I think interest rates are coming down. So I think there's a great opportunity now to get some people involved, and it's got to be something. Whatever we do, it's got to be something that's going to work. We can't just throw things up there. It's got to be a concept or a store or potential or a mixed use development that is going to work depending on what's in the area and what's planned for the area. We got to think about not just what's good for the next 1 year, what's good for the next 10 years, and make sure that fits into our comprehensive 10-year plan.
All right, thank you. Steve, it's your turn.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a pro-growth and my stance would be to find a way to serve and find a way to say yes for businesses to invest capital. Like the North End redevelopment, what you're trying to do is develop environments for people to come and stay and linger, and under outdated land use models, that's just no longer the case in some parts of the city. So you find a way to attract and retain businesses so that customers and local residents will stop by and linger. Part of that is pro-business and try to find a way to lower fees, taxes, regulations. Everyone talks about attracting businesses, but one of the great losses is UPS leaving Sandy Springs. And that's a major concern of why a business like that would choose to leave the city. So I would be in the solution seeking business to find businesses to stay in Sandy Springs.
Thank you very much. We now go back to Sarah Callis to ask her second question.
Do you support ordinances for limiting the number of apartment buildings in the city?
And David, we'll start with you.
I think it's been stated that we've got about 50% apartment owners, 50% homeowners. So that needs to change. I don't know that it's an ordinance. It's certainly can be controlled by the city council and by the planning committee as to what's presented and what's approved. So I think we just need to be very judicious in what we're approving going forward. We need more single family developments in Sandy Springs. We need to provide incentives to do that. There are certainly some apartments that are not meeting code, and those they need to be penalized for that and potentially replaced with development. So I don't know that, like I said, I don't know if there's an ordinance that we need. I think we just need better leadership in the city council and the planning process.
Thank you. Frank, please respond to the question.
Good. What that Buckhead has set up an employer-assisted housing program to offer financial assistance and resources to their employees so that they can live closer to their jobs. Another idea may be to offer developers incentives for housing, which would include accessible units. I will support thoughtful policies that provide housing options for people of all stages of life, young professionals, families, and seniors, while ensuring infrastructure can support that growth.
All right, thank you very much. Michelle, it's your turn.
I'm an advocate for housing that meet the needs of all residents. I think we should have thoughtful planning that protects the neighborhood character while supporting developments that align with the community needs. I would say smart community-focused growth will ensure that everyone has the opportunity to live in Sandy Springs and thrive.
All right, thank you. Steve, please respond to the question.
Sandy Springs currently has over 26,000 apartments in it. So the good news is Sandy Springs is a destination that everyone wants to come live there. It would be very, very impractical to shut down apartments. I will key on one of the notes that Mr. Flynn said is that enforcement of living standards would be critical of what the housing stock that we have currently. And then I would be against any type of government subsidized or affordable housing initiatives that would not be consistent with what the market would support. So great developments, sensible developments like ARIA is a great role model that brings to the market retail, entry-level housing, and upscale housing as well. So it's a sophisticated answer, but I would be for well-designed housing and no caps on existing, and it would be impossible to eliminate existing apartments.
All right, thank you very much. Bob, you get the final question.
Okay. How can the city honor the intent of its protected neighborhoods as it works for redevelopment of underperforming commercial properties?
And Steve, we're going to start with you.
Well, the government is there to partner, not to provide answers, but to partner with what market is doing. So basically, most of those underperforming properties would be redeveloped if the city would help the next buyer to get plans approved and to help them get through a permitting process. So the streamlined process of a design and build, renovation/rebuild would be a big time focus of me, and that's what I do anyways. That's what I do in my private sector, is development and redevelopments. So that would be a project I would enjoy working on.
Michelle, it's your turn.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
How can the city honor the intent of its protected neighborhoods as it works for the redevelopment of underperforming commercial properties?
I think that goes back to still the economic development of underserved commercial properties, whether it's residential or commercial, that the city do have to form partnerships and give incentives so that those properties are developed and create an enhancement for Sandy Springs. I think it still go back with collaboration, as Steve said earlier, fees, tax incentives for businesses to come and developers to come to Sandy Springs.
All right, thank you. Frank, please respond to the question.
Well, I'm not a businessman, so I'm not real sure how to answer this question, but protected neighborhood is one of my key issues that I have. They don't need to be coming to next door to our neighborhoods and building a business which would interfere with the peace and quiet of a neighborhood. I wouldn't vote for anything like that ever. Developing it in Sandy Springs is something that we do need, but we don't need to do it around protected neighborhoods.
All right, thank you very much. Dave, it's your turn.
Well, collaboration is one of the things I focus on in my business and what I focus on at the city council. So certainly there needs to be collaboration between the neighborhoods, and any development or any change in what's going on commercially near a neighborhood. So the neighborhood would have to have a voice in that and collaborate with whatever development or whatever's going on, and make sure the neighborhood is not significantly adversely affected in the short and long term.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for questions. Now, each candidate will have 60 seconds for a closing statement. And Michelle, we're going to start with you. Please give your closing statement.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Michelle Sullivan. I would say my life experiences, my higher education, and my skills not only qualify me, but make me competent enough to serve on Sandy Springs City Council, to fulfill the roles and the expectations that are required of being on City Council. My work ethic, I started working at the age of 14 years old, which has led me into 22 years of entrepreneurship. My functioning as a leader, owner, director in early childhood education, my growth mindset, my passion to serve and help people, all think makes me an ideal candidate for being on City Council. And last but not least, my loving, friendly personality as well, I think is ideal for me to be a candidate.
Thank you very much. Dave, you may now give your closing statement.
Well, I'm running because I believe our city deserves leadership experienced in three things: service, innovation, and community. In terms of service, excuse me, I've got 40 years of experience both in the corporate and the individual business world. I've owned my own business for 20 years, worked in the corporate environment for 20 years. So I've worked heavily on collaboration. I've worked heavily on process innovation, which is another key thing of mine. Process innovation, meaning improving processes, not only for the short term, but for the long term. I've been a dedicated business owner for 20 years. I'm very familiar with the neighborhoods in Sandy Springs and how they need to be connected. I've been involved with Leadership Sandy Springs, been involved with the police academy, been involved with the community assistance center. So I've got experience in the community aspect. So with all that experience, I think I bring dedication to City Hall and I'll be working strongly to enhance our city services, protect the quality of life, and ensure that Sandy Springs continues to thrive over the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Steve, please give your closing statement.
Yes, ma'am. At 1,093 feet above sea level, Sandy Springs is one of the best suburban neighborhoods in the United States. I've lived here my entire life, and I can hear the families calling out. There needs to be some relief. We have to focus our finite resources on providing families safety, managing a fiscal discipline of the government. You have to control costs on both sides of the equation so that they can afford to live here and raise their family. There has to be jobs. Businesses must be excited and incentivized to capitalize and move their capital into Sandy Springs. And finally, schools and families must have great places to send their children to schools. And those are going to be my focuses. I'm a very plain spoken person, and issues must be dealt with in a very common sense manner. So I look forward to the opportunity to represent Sandy Springs District Number 4. Thank you.
Thank you. And Frank, we conclude with you, your statement.
Yeah, I'm running for Sandy Springs City Council because I believe in protecting what our city special while preparing for a strong future. For more than 30 years, I've served as a police sergeant, dedicating my life to keep families and neighborhoods safe. Public safety has been my life's work, and on council, I will make sure our police and emergency services have the resources they need while supporting smart policies that prevent crime and strengthen our civic services. I am also committed to standing against overdevelopment that threatens the character of our neighborhoods. By working together with neighbors, businesses, and developers, we can achieve sustainable growth that respects our community's values while keeping the small-town charm that makes Sandy Springs unique.
All right.
Springs is a great place to live.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are you finished?
I'm done.
All right, thank you so much. And that's all the time we have. And I want to thank all of the candidates and the panel for participating, and Rough Draft Atlanta for organizing the forum. Early voting begins Tuesday, October 14th, and Election Day is November 4th. I'm Donna Lowry. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks,
Thank
Donna.
you.